Hey guys, today's historical story that I'm about to tell you might even relate to your own home. Just imagine suddenly seeing something on your floor that's so terrifying it would freeze you in place and make your heart skip a beat. And no, this isn't a ghost or demon story. No spirits, no buried bodies, none of that. This is something completely different, something that actually happened in history. If you're ready to hear a real historical mystery, get ready, because what I'm about to share will shake you to the core. This story begins in 1971 from a small village of Belmez de la Marlita, Spain. The morning of 1971 held a strange calm, a quiet that seemed unbreakable. The sunlight slowly spilled over the old stones and tiny houses of the village. Life went on for the villagers, unaware that a small house, where Maria and Juan lived with their family, was about to become the center of a mystery that would haunt them forever. On an ordinary day, while sweeping the kitchen floor, Maria saw her first face. At first, she thought it was just dirt or a stain, but as she looked closer, the face seemed alive. Eyes, a small nose, lips, all perfectly human. Maria called Juan, and they both peered closely. Their hearts raced. "Juan, how is this even possible?" Maria whispered. Juan touched the floor with his hand. The surface was perfectly normal. No paint, no ink, no stains. Yet the face was there, every detail clear, as if an unseen artist had just created it. As the days passed, faces became more vivid and complex. At first, a simple expression. The next day, eyes glistened with tears, lips hinted at sorrow. Sometimes the mouth smiled, sometimes it appeared angry. Villagers, who had initially watched with quiet curiosity, slowly began to feel fear and tension. Rumors began to spread. "That house is cursed," or "the floor is haunted." People kept their children away, and strangers maintained distance. The family initially tried to ignore the phenomenon, but the face's unpredictability began to disrupt their lives. Maria felt, especially at night, as if some unseen presence was watching her. Each face seemed to eerily reflect their own emotions. Sometimes, these faces even appeared in dreams, embedding themselves in her eyes, making her question how an inorganic surface could convey so much human emotion. Juan began searching for a scientific explanation. They took floor samples for chemical analysis and microscopic observation. The results were inconclusive. The experts were baffled, and for the family, the boundary between reality and the supernatural blurred even further. Some scientists suggested it might be a rare chemical reaction or the effect of mold, but the family could not accept this. Each new appearance of the faces was increasingly vivid and emotionally intense. Hopeless and bewildered, the family decided to break the floor. As the tiles were lifted, a new face immediately appeared. This time, the expression was even more disturbing, eyes filled with anger, lips subtly conveying contempt. Villagers watched with fear. Rumors and legends spread rapidly. Some claimed these faces belonged to people who were once connected to this house, while others said they reflected a tragic event from the past. With each new appearance, the family's emotional turmoil deepened. The media began covering the case. Photographs and videos circulated across Spain. Public debates erupted. Paranormal or fraud? Visitors flocked to the village out of curiosity and fear. The family's life changed completely. At night, the faces displayed expressions that sometimes mirrored and disturbed their own emotions. The pattern of the faces became even more intriguing. Sometimes the eyes blinked, the mouth formed a faint smile, or appeared to cry, as if an unseen observer silently judged them. For the family, reality and nightmare had merged. Each day passed in a mix of anxiety, fear, and fascination. The most emotionally challenging aspect was the unpredictability of the faces. Their appearances and disappearances had no understandable pattern. Experts returned, conducting more advanced tests. They analyzed the concrete, pigments, chemical composition, and moisture levels. Everything appeared normal, yet the faces persisted. For scientists, it became an unsolved enigma. For the family, an endless emotional roller coaster. Some nights, the faces appeared not only on the floor but in dreams, leaving a deep impression of fear and fascination on the subconscious. The villagers' curiosity and fear grew. Tourists, researchers, and paranormal enthusiasts came to see for themselves. Everyone had a different experience. Some were emotionally disturbed, others fascinated, and some declared that this is real and these faces are still here. The reality became one where people constantly questioned, was it natural, paranormal, or something else entirely? Each face told a different story. Sometimes a face hinted at a tragedy long past. Sometimes it depicted an innocent child who had never lived there. Maria and Juan noticed that the faces also reflected their own emotions and fears. When they were stressed during the day, the faces appeared angry or sad. When they were calm, expressions were neutral or mild. This phenomenon defied scientific understanding. One night, Maria observed closely and saw a face with closed closed eyes, as if sleeping, slowly opening them into a smile. The smile was disturbingly real, as if some unseen presence was silently judging both their fear and fascination. Warren tried recording it, but the camera captured nothing. The faces appeared only to their eyes. Scientists and media continued to document the phenomenon. Every angle, lighting, and time of day was recorded, yet the faces' appearances remained unpredictable. Some claimed these were living portraits, conveying the emotions and intentions of their creator. For the family, the experience was a constant source of psychological stress and fascination. Day and night, their home had become an enigmatic museum where reality and the supernatural subtly intertwined. Villagers struggled to maintain a balance between curiosity and fear. Some kept their children away, while outsiders brought cameras and equipment. Everyone's experience differed, sometimes a crying face, sometimes smiling, sometimes angry. The faces manipulated the emotional reactions of onlookers, creating an unending source of suspense for the family and the village. Even today, the house in Belmez and its floor remain a living mystery. The faces are documented in history, with photographs preserved in museums and research archives. And if you ever visit the small village of Belmez and look at that floor, perhaps you, too, will feel the expression of a face that seems to speak silently to you. This story is not merely a historical record, but a reminder that sometimes the line between reality and the paranormal is so subtle that we can only watch in awe, unable to fully comprehend.